Fortunately, a lot of times you can't see your own way out. I'm going to say that again for the cheap seats. Sometimes when you get stuck because it's you, it is very hard for you to find your own way out. And sometimes it's not stuck at all. Get this. Sometimes you may just not know what to do next. And if that's the case, that's not stuck. That's lack of knowledge, and that's when you get some help. But we're also going to be talking about 7 ways to really just get unstuck if you're stuck, stop procrastinating, identify if that's what it is or not. And many of you should be, could be, would be working on your Black Friday plans. So I'm hosting a free planning session for those of you who are stuck. Go to bit.ly/ Black Friday Plan 22 and get some help. So the first thing you have to identify is, are you procrastinating or do you just not know what to do next? And unfortunately for women, it is really a struggle to ask for help, to get help, to acknowledge that we don't know what we're doing, because some kind of way we've been painted as like these superheroines, and we think that we're supposed to just know every end all be all question. And what I found is, while the majority of women can answer most people's needs, we can't do it for ourselves. Do you guys agree with that? While the majority of us can easily look at somebody else's life and say what needs to be happen, we give some of the most amazing advice for other people. It is so easy for us to rectify other people's problems. We can fix our man's problem. We can fix our kids' problems. But when it comes to us, we struggle with that. And sometimes as a result, we just stay broke and broken. So we have to identify, is this procrastination? And you know, it's hard sometimes to do some self-examination. Sometimes you just got to get some help and say, you know, here's what I'm going through. What do I need to do differently? And it may not be an entire coaching program that you need. You know, if this is you, send me a DM. Let's talk about what can get you unstuck. It may be one conversation. You know, it may be one short conversation. It may be one long conversation. It may be a combination of conversations, but it may not take you a year to get unstuck. But if you don't start looking for a solution outside of yourself, then, you know, it's very easy to stay stuck. So the first thing you got to do is identify the source. Is it procrastination, or is it that you just don't know what to do next? So let's talk about that. 7 ways to fight procrastination. And again, make sure you register for the Black Friday planning session. It's a free session to help you get unstuck. Look, I'm still counting this tonight. Good night, Tyra. She says happy Sunday. Look, I'm still counting this tonight. But 7 ways, hey Nicole, to get unstuck. Number one, something I do all the time is I do things immediately. When I tell people, do you know what my Achilles heel is? And they say no, and I say it's procrastination. Most people don't believe me. But they're like, well, coach, you execute all the time. You always got something going on. Oh, yeah, because I do it right away. I know that the longer I sit with it, twist it, turn it, look at it, examine it, question it, piddle with it, fiddle with it, I know that's the longer that I'm not going to do anything with it. Does this sound familiar? If it sounds like you, say me in the chat. Does this sound familiar? Because as women, we are born warriors, piddlers. You know, we're the conscious of a society. We're the conscious. You know, men gonna run and they gonna do what feels good to them. They're gonna do what they like to do. With women, we're gonna more often than not try to do what's best for the team, try to do what's best for the family, try to do what's best for everyone. And more often than not, that means we put ourselves on the back burner, right? So one of the ways you combat that is instead of writing it down and thinking about it, overthinking about it, worrying about it, obsessing about it, do it immediately. Do it and get it out of the way. Do it like ripping a Band-Aid off. Just rip it off. Sometimes I don't even write things down. If I know I need to do it, I'm just going to go ahead and send that message before I overthink it. I'm just going to go ahead and send that request before I overthink it. And if you do that, you're going to find that you move a lot faster because you're not examining. I really, to be honest, especially as women, sometimes we need to trust our instinct. Good morning, Cheryl. Y'all didn't hear what I said, did you? We have such discernment. We have such instinct. It's intrinsic to women. And a lot of times we just need to trust our instinct, but we're so afraid of making a mistake that even the things that we should be operating at on an instinctual level, we're questioning them. And it's costing us time. It's costing us frustration. It's costing us ground. And it's costing us our lives. So number one, we just got to do it. Just do that thing that Brian Tracy has a book called Eat That Frog. And what he means is, good morning, Shanita, do the thing that is the most uncomfortable first. Did y'all catch that? Do the thing that is the most uncomfortable first. Get it out the way. Good morning, Fleur J. If you got spinach on your plate and you hate spinach, go on and just eat the spinach. Get it out of the way because it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. And I'm talking to myself, trust and believe. So do it immediately. Those things that you know need to be done and they're not enjoyable, do them out right away. If you hate making sales calls, make that the first thing you do in the morning. If you hate going live, make that the first thing you do in the morning. Do not give yourself permission. Do not let yourself off the hook. Don't do anything else until that hard thing is done. Is this helping anybody? Because if you give yourself the option to put it off, you're going to put it off. But if you don't give yourself the option, I'll tell you how I started my live stream habit. Because quite like many of you, live stream had to become a habit. I did not like doing live stream at first. It had to become a habit. And how I made it a habit was I aligned it with the thing that I did the most. And that was drop my daughters off at school. And so I would drop them off at school in the morning and I would go by McDonald's and I would go live in my car before I came home. And I would not allow myself to come home until I had gone live. So what did that mean? That means that when I got up to take them to school, I had to get dressed. As soon as they got out of the car, oh, I'm live. Yeah, I'm live for real. As soon as I got out of the car, I had to, as soon as I dropped them off in the car, I would go to McDonald's, I get on a Wi-Fi signal, and I would go live. And some days it would take me 30 minutes, an hour. I would write my notes in the car. I would think about what I was going to say. And some days I would drag my feet, but it would get done. Because I did not allow myself. And that level of discipline, guys, you may say to yourself, I don't have it, but you have it for a job. You need to find it for yourself. And again, guys, if you haven't signed up for my Black Friday planning session to kind of help you get unstuck with your Black Friday offer, because if you're a business owner, you need to have one. And if it ain't packaged already, you're procrastinating. Go to bit.ly/Black Friday Plan 22. It's a free session. We're doing it Tuesday night. It'll give you a set time and a day to get it done, which brings me to number 2. Give yourself a deadline. Stop operating as if the world is going to last forever. Stop operating as if you're never going to run out of time. Stop operating as if you got all the time in the world, because you just don't. Give yourself a deadline and understand that the more you operate without a deadline, the longer it's going to take you to get to where you really want to be. I mean, you almost got to look at it as if what's standing between me and my next level. And every day I need to take a step towards it. And every day I got to take a step to remove an obstacle. And every day I got to take a step to get closer. And every day that I don't take a step is a day that I'm going to sit longer in the place that I don't want to be. Which brings me to number 3. Small steps really will get you there. Come on now. Somebody put in the chat, small steps. Somebody type in small steps. Small steps really will get you there. We live in an environment, we live in a world that makes everybody think that you're going to go from 0 to 100 like mega quick. And that's not the case. I remember when I think it was Kendrick Lamar won his first Grammy, and everybody was talking about new artists. And he said, I've been doing this for 15 years. They say that an overnight success takes at least 10 years. You got a world around you making you think that people are going instantly into success, but they're not. It's those small steps every day. The Bible says, do not despise small beginnings. Everybody starts small. You can look at me and say, but coach, you got all these followers. Oh, because I took small steps. I took small steps. And I took them every day. And I took them rain. And I took them sleet. And I took them snow. And I took them, if the sun was blazing, I still took my step. Can you do that? Is that something you're willing to do? A lot of people say, well, coach, I can't afford to work with you. Okay, then become one of my business besties. Do something. Get closer. Hang out with me. Learn more. But at the end of the day, do something. It doesn't have to be from 0 to 9,000. That's not how success works. That's not how the world works. That's not how any of this works. So be okay with the small steps. But again, I'm going to go back to what I said. Do those hard things and give yourself a deadline. Also, put it in writing. Put it in writing. And I don't mean a to-do list. I mean a letter to yourself, a heart-written note to yourself. Put big giant goals on the wall. Make it a reality. Make a promise to yourself. I'm going back to what I said originally. And if you haven't shared this broadcast, make sure you do, because I know, it's late, but I feel like every entrepreneur needs to hear this. Stop breaking promises to yourself. Somebody look at your neighbor and say, wow, stop breaking promises to yourself. We will go above and beyond to fulfill promises to our man. We will go, don't promise your child a birthday party. Baby, they don't care if it's Typhoon Mary or Tornado Alice. They don't care. And you don't either. You're going to do whatever it takes to make sure that baby got that party. So at what point are you going to start honoring those same promises to yourself? At what point are you going to start going the distance to fulfill your own promises? And I'm going to go back to my number 1. Do it immediately. Don't wait till January 1st. Don't wait till December 1st. Don't wait till Monday. Do it right now. Pick one thing. Pick one thing. Pick one thing you've been procrastinating on and work on it until it's done. Give yourself a deadline. Don't let yourself off the hook. Use your gifts and talents. Operate within the scope of what you're good at. And get help. That's number 5. Stop being so hesitant to do whatever it takes to get the help that you need. Stop operating on your own accord. There's things you know, and there's things that you don't know, and there's things that you don't know that you don't know. So you got the things that you don't know. You got the things you don't know. And then you got those things that you don't even know that you don't even know. So those are the things that you will never figure out within the confines of yourself. So until you say to yourself, you know what? I'm tired of being at this plateau. I'm tired of being at the same spot. I'm going to get some help. Let me quit acting like I'm too good. Let me stop acting like I'm too proud. And I'm going to get me some help. Until you get to that point where you're resigned to get it done no matter what, you got to ask yourself, do you really want it? Is this what you really want? So number 5, which is really number 6, is get help. Number 6 is reward yourself when you do well. Put something that you really want on the line. A direct opposite of whatever it is that you've been fighting to do. Say, okay, when I get to, I know I've been procrastinating on writing my book. So when I finish the book, I'm going to schedule myself a vacation to Florida. Nothing expensive, couple $100 vacation. But that's what I'm going to do for myself when I accomplish this task. And what we have to realize is that sometimes we need that anchor into something real in order to carry us through. I know that everybody says, oh, you got to have faith and you're going to get there some way, just keep going. Everybody says that, but sometimes we can't see the reward in the distance. Does that help anybody? If that helps somebody, say me. There's the link Willie made to the Black Friday webinar. It's on the screen, bit.ly/Black Friday Plan 22. Everything you need, it's a free webinar. Everything you need is on that page, bit.ly/Black Friday Plan 22. It's a free planning session next Tuesday. So sometimes we can't see that $1 million future or that 6-figure year. So we got to pretty much play mind tricks with ourselves and give ourselves a real world reward. And it doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be expensive. And it needs to be something you really want or need. I've done things like saying, I'm not going to the nail shop until I finish this. Well, if you're somebody that goes to the nail shop every 2 weeks, rain, sleet, snow, or shine, you need to put something between you and that nail shop and not let yourself off the hook. So again, reward yourself. Stop treating yourself when you don't have your work done. And last but not least, everybody always talks about how expensive it is to get help, but I beg to differ. I beg to differ that the most expensive thing you can do is continuing to try to do this yourself. I think that the most expensive thing, the most costly thing is not meeting your goals. The most thing that is impacting you the most is the fact that you keep setting these goals and not making them. You keep putting these plans in place, but not accomplishing them. I don't think there's anything that could be more expensive, more costly. Count the cost. How much longer are you willing to sit? How much more can you endure? How much longer are you going to work for somebody else? How much longer are you going to keep your gifts and talents bottled up? And every day that goes by, you're paying a price. You're paying a price either in growth or you're paying a price in success, but you're paying a price. So you got to realize, I want to stop paying that price. Guys, I'm going to get out of here. I love you. I hope this helped you. 7 steps to free yourself from procrastination. If I could be of help, send me a message. Get started today. Nothing starts without you. So be the person that starts. Okay, love you guys. Have a great night.